Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Troy Kinne.
I am
Yes, Traralgon! Oh, it is good to be back in Gippsland. And let me just double check when I say that. I don't know if everyone here knows this, but I'm originally from Sale. Are we aware of this? Yeah, so I'm essentially one of you, right? If anything, I'm from further away from the city than you. So I'm technically more bogan than you. But then again, Moe's closer than both of us, so that logic makes no sense whatsoever. We got anyone here from Moe? Yeah. I thought I could smell the hint of moccasin in the air. Yes, I am very proud to be from country Victoria. I realised this last year, even more so. A few shows in Edinburgh, and then I did a few shows around the UK. You know, when you're overseas, you know, if you're over there long enough, you miss like your family, your friends, your favourite food, the usual stuff. I started missing something quite odd. I started missing how good we are at swearing in our country. Because overseas, they swear a bit different to us. They mainly just swear out of anger. Like, they'll see their favourite sporting team lose on TV, they'll say swear words. Someone cuts them off in traffic, that'll trigger off swear words. But here in Australia, and even more so Traralgon, we mostly just swear out of laziness. Like every now and then we'll get asked a question that involves many answers, but we can only be stuffed giving one answer. Then we just add on a swear word that covers all the other answers. I even saw two ladies talking at the bar when I first got here tonight. You gonna get a drink? Yeah, what sort of drinks they got? I don't know, fucking beer and shit. But I'm home sweet home. But there's a lot of words changing in our world at the moment, isn't there? Even when I was booking flights a couple of weeks ago, right? And I've booked flights before. I feel like I know what I'm doing. Put my name at the top, easy. Go to put the address, but it won't let me. Because now a menu drops down where you have to choose your preferred pronoun. And there's so many options, right? I'm looking at them all. I panicked. I chose they. Because all I could think was a few days earlier, I was eating dinner at home by myself. And according to the side of the microwave frozen pizza box, I identify as a fucking family of 4. So it's either they or lonely, greedy piece of shit. You choose, Jetstar, you choose. And I'll tell you what, there's one change in the world that I don't even reckon everyone in the room has cottoned onto yet. And I worked out this one the hard way while lining up to get on the plane. And that is, do you realise for the rest of our lives now, there will never, ever again be such a thing as an innocent cough? Can't even clear your throat in public without getting daggers anymore, can you? Remember when you used to use a cough to cover up a fart? Now it's the other way around, isn't it? Like, no, it's not what you think. That was just the sound of me shitting myself a bit, forcing one out. False alarm, people. Notice I didn't use the word COVID there. Try not to use it. I feel like if we don't use it, it'll never come back. We'll never have to think of it again. But the other reason I bring it up is because part of the show tonight, I called it Made Wrong because I'm going to reveal some things that are wrong with me. And I've realised that, you know, when you see someone else who's got a few things wrong with them, it can make you feel a bit better about the shit that's going on with you. So that's the theory behind it, right? And the other reason I bring it up is because I have had people, when I'm promoting these shows, message me and say, love to come to the show, mate, but honestly still struggling a bit financially since the pandemic. And, you know, I completely get it. I went through the same thing as well. For 2 years, my career did nothing but lose money. 12 years if you count before COVID, so I definitely sympathise. But I bring it up because if you are still struggling a bit financially from COVID, I guarantee you there's one person who is worse off than all of us, right? And that's Wally from those Where's Wally books. If you don't know who Wally is, he's a big tall guy, wears a red and white jumper every day, and his skill is he hides, right? And he sells these books. Every page is like a picture of him hiding. He hides in, like, you know, airports, markets and stuff. This is a page of one of those books, right? So he's in there somewhere. Anyone got him yet? Yeah, you got him, mate? There he is there, right? So this is his one skill in life. It's his trade. He's a professional hider. And he gets paid millions of dollars every year from selling these books that, you know, kids get entertained by trying to find him. Then they brought in that social distancing, didn't they? Where everyone's got to be 1.5 metres apart. Only 12 people allowed in a shop at once. And poor Wally, he was still having a crack, but it was like, yeah, there you are, dickhead. There you are, dickhead. There you are, dickhead. And then even when they started opening up shops, remember when they first opened up like massage parlours and hair salons, all the things we needed, right? So Wally was back into it, but to be honest, it was still easy to find him. It was a bit pathetic. I'm just glad one of his books did have a happy ending. Oh! And you just got your money's worth right there. But I made sure after the pandemic that I had a good year. First thing I did to try and flip the script, I got engaged at the start of that year. Yeah. Certainly something worth celebrating. An aspect of it that I thought was worth celebrating, that I'm starting to realise I might have jumped the gun on a bit, is the fact that I'm 46 years old, right? My fiancée, 32. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Look at me go, snagged myself a younger chick here. If my calculations are correct, she's going to be younger than me for ages. Right? But it was fine because the age gap between us never got brought up. Like, believe it or not, we had the same taste in music, movies. She doesn't look at me as the novelty older guy and vice versa. At least that's what I thought. Until a few months into it, remember like about a year and a half ago, the moon went red, the blood moon. It was a full moon and it went red for some reason. This was a big deal in our apartment building. Our neighbours brought over binoculars because you could see it from our balcony. So I'm looking at this moon, mainly thinking to myself, how fucking long do we have to look at this thing for? And random comment off the top of my head, I just said, can't believe people have walked on that, eh? And my girlfriend genuinely said to me in front of everyone else, oh, so when they landed on the moon, did you watch that live on TV? I said, yeah, well, I was having a few beers with Elvis. How fucking old do you think I am? And I've realised what the problem is. And I don't know if anyone else over 40 is in this same mindset, but in my mind, I'm still not an adult yet, right? But now that I have to partake in a younger person's activity now and then, my mind and my body will remind me, you're fucking kidding yourself, mate. Like my partner and I, we had a few drinks during the day, right? Which is my favourite thing because you're done by like 6 p.m. And we're in the bedroom, we're fooling around a little bit, and because she's got that young person energy, she always wants to take things up a notch. And she goes to me, wait a second, let's get really naughty. Do you want to eat some ice cream off my boobs? And I got so excited because in my mind I thought, I've got an idea already that tops that one, right? This is what I heard come out of my mouth. I said, or what about this? What if I eat the ice cream out of a bowl while I just look at them? What the fuck? I realised back there somewhere in my brain, I'm clearly just worried about the mess it's going to make. I could feel my penis look up at me going, what the fuck did you just say? We used to be on the same page with this shit. I'm like, yeah, I know, but now there's a rule in our house, whoever makes the mess has to clean it up. I'm not getting done on a technicality, okay? And my poor partner was so confused. She's like, do you honestly think your suggestion was sexier than mine? And I'm like, no, please ignore me. I don't know why I blurted that out, okay? Your way is definitely the sexy way. We're going to do it that way. Eating the ice cream off your boobs, that's the way to do it, okay? But let's go to the kitchen first and hang them over the sink. So when we got engaged, we put a couple of photos up on Instagram, which I think there should be a rule against, because your friends and family can get fooled that happy version of you on holiday as a couple is how you are all the time, can't they? And we all know that's not the case. But I only bring it up because one person who has been fooled by the version of us as a couple on holiday is my partner. She thinks that's the real us. And I realised this when we were watching a certain reality show on TV. I'll reveal which one in a second, all right? So we're watching this show and then she made a comment, which I reckon is a pretty common comment while watching this particular show. And as I'm sitting there, I can see this comment forming in her eyes. And I'm like, please don't say what I think you're going to say. Please don't be one of those people. Please don't say it. And she eventually goes, I reckon we should go on the block. Oh, for fuck's sake. I said, really? She goes, yeah, I reckon we'd win it. What do you reckon? I said, what do I reckon? I reckon this morning we tried to make the bed together and I got called a fuckhead 3 times. So maybe the two of us making a fully furnished townhouse together isn't going to be the fairy tale you think it is, babe. Besides, we ought to get our own version of the block. You know, when we try and make one of those Hello Fresh meals as a team? And it always ends with one of us going for a walk around the block to think about things. Let's just stick with the version we know. We got some Hello Fresh couples down here, have we? No. Who, you guys married? Yeah, you married? Yeah, married? No, married. It's like duck, duck, goose, isn't it? Married, single, chase me. I don't know why I pointed to you, mate. That was random. You know? Don't come to me at the end of the show and go, I was the goose. If you want to run it, I'll chase you. What's your name, mate? Mark. Thanks for coming, Mark. What's your name? Wendy. Nice to meet you both. Thanks for coming. And how long you been married for? I'll just ask her, Mark, okay? I saw that confusion glaze across your face. 20 years! Wow, look at that. All right, well done. Yeah, one person's happy for you. When I start talking about relationships, it's always sort of fun for me. I entertain myself a bit up here because it's always fun to try and pick who's the married couple, who's the new fresh couple. Because you'll start talking about relationships and you'll see the new fresh couple, they'll both have a bit of a laugh and go, that's true, you do that. No, you do that. No, you do that. Come here. Same joke, married couple, one of them will laugh, the other one will go, yeah, you would find that fucking funny, wouldn't you, piece of shit? Sitting on an angle the rest of the night. So we'll see if you get there halfway through the show. And are you guys a couple over here, mate? Yeah. Are you married? No, not yet. All right. We've got a fresh couple. How long have you been together? Couple of months. There we go. See, look at them. These two got a buffer zone. These look like fucking Siamese twins over here. Still picturing each other when they have sex. Remember those days, Mark? And that was enough to get you over the line? All right. Let's try it. So 20 years in prison. Let's try and inspire our fresh couple over here. Now, Wendy, keep in mind we're trying to inspire, all right? After 20 years of being married to Mark, if you were to describe him as an animal in the bedroom, which animal would you pick? Sloth. How do you fucking know? No wonder Mark's so happy down here. He's getting it everywhere. What do you got, Wendy? Oh, no. This is the hardest she's laughed all night, Mark. I'm fucking offended, Wendy. Lion! There you go. You'd take that, wouldn't you? Yeah, don't have kids, you'll fucking eat them. That's what they do. I've seen a documentary. You got 2 kids? They've survived. Good on you, Mark. I'm glad you said that, though, Wendy, because I had a partner break up with me once because she said I was too much of a tiger. But that's a compliment, don't you think, Wendy? She said cheetah, but tiger's the same thing. So just say jungle cat next time. Cover them all. Same girlfriend told me having sex with me was like riding a roller coaster. Not too shabby, I thought. So she went on to say, because it goes for a minute and a half and you feel a bit queasy afterwards. And at the end you can buy photos of yourself that you didn't know were being taken at the time. You always got that ridiculous look on your face, but you buy them anyway, don't you? Caught up in the moment. So how did you guys meet, Mark and Wendy? Actually, don't tell me yet, because I can already tell. Your backstory is like straight out of an erotic novel, isn't it? So let's give it the attention it deserves, for God's sake. Mark and Wendy don't have any friends around them because their friends can't withstand the heat that generates from their passion. It's like trying to stand next to an eruptive volcano. Not surprising when you consider the fact that they met at Coles. I've never watched a porn that had Coles supermarket in it. All right, I mean, this is going to go somewhere. Let's turn another page, I reckon. When Mark and Wendy met in Coles in the frozen food section, it was that very moment that they decided to consummate their relationship. Wendy couldn't believe how sexually satisfied she was. She orgasmed almost. Which isn't surprising when you consider the fact that Mark has the sexiest job title of all, the job title of a... Oh, you were the manager at Coles? Fuck it, here we go. married at Coles? Because you can walk down the aisle, can't you? So, as I briefly touched on earlier, I called this show Made Wrong because I do want it to have an underlying thread of basically accepting anything that's wrong with you, embracing our wrongness, if you will. When you see the funny side of anything wrong with you, it takes away its power, right? I've got a nephew and 2 young girls that live next door to me with a single mum, so I look after them now and then. And they're getting to that age where they're becoming interested in social media. And I think we all know on social media these days, everything everyone posts is an example of perfection, something funny, something sexy, something cool. And I think that's bad for the new generation coming up because they're going to feel so pressured to be all these things, which I don't think is healthy for anyone, right? But I thought if I'm going to preach this so much, I better practice it myself. So I'll reveal a few things that are wrong with me that I wouldn't necessarily normally, put out there or say to a room full of people, which I think we should all do. I'll go first, but we'll get to everyone eventually, okay? The first example of me being made wrong is my heart. I was born with a heart condition called dextrocardia, which means my heart is flipped. It's on the other side. It's over here, right? And I've got an abnormal blood supply to my heart, which means it just beats at its own rhythm whenever it wants. Sometimes it's in a reggae chill kind of mood. Sometimes it's like it's at a fucking rave, right? I just have to go along with whatever mood it's in. From a very early age, I was told by doctors that I could never be a policeman or a fireman or a manager at Coles or a soldier in the army because I don't pass the medical and I never will. And I was actually a bit upset about this as a kid. And to this day, I'm still pleading my case, going are you guys crazy? I would be a secret weapon in the army. So they'd be shooting me here and I just keep fucking coming, right? I'm like the Terminator, baby. Even if they shoot me in the head, according to my partner, I think with my dick half the time anyway, so there's no issue there. But the thing with me being made wrong is there's always a knock-on effect, right? So the knock-on effect of that is my lungs saw my heart flip and thought, that's what we're meant to do, is it? So my lungs are flipped as well, and only one of my lungs works. The right one doesn't work at all because it gets no blood to it. And I feel sorry for it because I've seen it in x-rays and stuff. It looks fine, but it's just like sitting on the bench going, how come I'm not playing? This is bullshit, right? But probably the worst of the knock-on effects is my cilia hairs. So the cilia hairs in your body are teeny tiny hairs, so small you can't even see them with the naked eye, right? But they stick out at a certain angle because their job is to prevent infection, disease, allergies. They're in your lungs, your throat, your nose. My cilia hairs go the wrong fucking way. So while the cilia hairs in your bodies are acting like security for the present, just not letting anyone come close, right? Mine are acting like the promoter of the Deck nightclub, just letting in any dodgy prick that wants to come in, right? So I've been from day one, I've been on antibiotics and steroids because I constantly get infections easily. And that's part of it that is a bit depressing, can get miserable because I get sick very easily and stuff like that. So essentially in my life, I've got 3 doctors, right? I've got my heart doctor, he's very good. My lung doctor, she's very good. And my GP. I'm not sure this guy's an actual fucking doctor. Because anytime I ask him a medical question, the answer he gives me, I feel like it's the same answer my dad would have given me if I just asked him the same question. Not so long ago, I was in there and I was saying, every morning when I wake up, it's like I've just got hardcore asthma for half an hour. It's like I'm breathing through a straw until I get up and walk around. And he goes, "You been having that inhaler I prescribed you?" I said, "Yeah, 1 puff every night before bed, just like you said." This was his medical advice and body language. Maybe try 2 puffs. Oh, thanks, that fills me with confidence, mate. But what's weird is whenever I'm out of town, for example, if I had to see a doctor while I was here, it's always a bit annoying because that doctor doesn't know my medical condition. Mainly because I don't write it on the form at the start. Because it's always fun to watch a medical professional try and keep their cool when they got that stethoscope on your chest just going, what the fuck is going on here? It doesn't help that I've been holding my breath the whole time, turning purple, going... And if it's nothing to do with my chest, I normally don't mention it because I want it to sort of slip under the radar because once they find out my condition, I end up in there longer because they're a bit fascinated, they want to examine me and stuff. But there was one doctor who got more excited than all the others. And that was this guy in Melbourne who I saw. Once he worked out my condition, he goes, oh my God, I've got an idea. I lecture at Melbourne University. What if we sneak you in as a dummy patient that my students have to examine and try and figure out what's wrong with you? What do you reckon? I said, well, one, what makes you think I'd want to put myself through that? And he goes, you get $80. And I said, two, what's the address, you idiot? Come on, let's go. So I'm sitting in there. Now, if these are the future brains of our medical world, I reckon we might be in trouble because I'm pretty sure they thought I was a fucking mannequin, right? They were just prodding me and poking me, like grabbing my love handles, going, oh, could be thyroid not functioning properly. Slapping my chins, going, could be something glandular. I arced up. I said, I'll tell you what is functioning properly. My fucking ears. I can hear you, pricks. Left there in tears. But easily my favourite of my three doctors is my lung doctor, because she said from very early on, there is no such thing as a stupid question. And I have been milking that from day one. The latest one I said was, Doc, have you seen that movie Forrest Gump? You know when Forrest is trying to run away from those bullies, but he can't run properly because he's got those leg braces on. But because he's so determined, those leg braces just burst off. And it turns out, because his legs have never been used, they're so fresh and strong, he just runs for the rest of his life and he's one of the best runners in the world. Do you think, with my lung that's sitting on the bench, if I ran hard enough, it would have no option but to kick in and I just run straight to the Olympic Games, collecting gold medals like Usain Bolt? And she goes, you know what? That's actually not that far-fetched, because all it needs is blood circulation. So if you did run flat out for 5 minutes, it could trigger something. And I was like, oh my God, such a shame we'll never know then. But I reckon the people who need to embrace their wrongness the most are the people on Instagram. Because you know these days when you ask someone if you've just met them or something, you're like, have you got Instagram? And they always play it down. No one wants to be labelled an influencer, do they? They're always like, yeah, I've got Instagram, but, you know, I don't take it seriously. Half the photos I put up there I didn't even know had been taken. It's just a bit of fun. Then you go through and scroll their Instagram and every photo is like they're going to the fucking Oscars. But there's this new trend going on where if you hover over one of their photos, it suddenly becomes like an advertisement where they tag all the things they're wearing and that, and then they'll list them at the bottom, dressed by Gucci, fresh crop, full credit to all of the team at Jamie & Co. And all I can think is they assume we're looking at their photos and automatically thinking to ourselves, how can I look as good as you? If you think I'm looking at your Instagram for enjoyment, I get zero enjoyment out of someone looking better than me. Let's get that straight right now, okay? So I think if you're going to claim that you posted photos that you didn't know was being taken, right? Okay, laugh went a bit long there, I'll be honest. I mean, sure, tag the things in that photo, the items I might be able to purchase to make myself feel better about myself, but also tag everything in that photo that might make me feel better about myself. T-shirt by Cotton On, bitch tits by Dairy. There you go. That'll make someone feel better about themselves. Custom-made wristwatch, full credit to the team at Janai Jewelers. Arthritic wrist, full credit to all of Troy's ex-girlfriends. Well, that one's just fucking sad, but I think you get my point. But the worst one for me on social media at the moment is Facebook, because I'm at that age where pretty much all of my friends have got kids who are like turning 10, 11 or 12, and they just use Facebook as a platform to show off how good their kids are, how good they are as a parent. You've probably seen a post like this from one of your friends. Daniel winning interstate 800 metres final, proud mum, hashtag my world. And there's nothing wrong with that, don't get me wrong. Yeah, show it off. But my point is, what's the matter with posting the other kids that were in that race? There's nothing wrong with admitting now and then your kids are a bit shit at stuff. And sometimes you wish you weren't a fucking parent, let's be honest. That's why I invented Failbook. So even the kids that are shit can get a post as well. I sent this to my brother's wife. She got into it straight away. This is my nephew. He came sixth in his race. She's posted, by the way, there were only 6 kids in the race. When someone asked me who my son was, I pointed to one of the other kids. Hashtag embarrassed as fuck. She's obviously taken it a bit far, but I think she got what I was going for. But easily, the best thing I've ever done, I think, was on Instagram. So I've got a lot of friends on Instagram who only use it to show off and brag about how cool their life is. It's annoying because I know these people personally, and every post they put, all I think is, yeah, but I know something about you that completely undoes that. So I created a fake Instagram account. None of them know it's me. I called it The Humbler, because that's what I'm doing. I'm humbling these motherfuckers, bringing them down a peg or two, cutting them down to size. Honestly, if you've got time to do it, it's the most cathartic thing you will ever do, okay? Because they still don't know it's me. I'm sure we've all got a friend like this. All she does is whinge about the relationship she's been in for ages, but then when she posts about it, it's like it's the best relationship in the world. Boyfriend buying flowers for me when we both know it's not even an occasion. Lucky girl right here. Then I come in as the humbler. How about the fact that you both know that in 2017, he stole $200 from your purse, but neither of you have brought it up? See, all that is another bit of information about the same relationship, just a different angle. This is my mate Stewie. I guarantee we've all got a mate like this. He thinks his job is like he's working on Wall Street like a baller, you know? And he'll go to other people's work events and just pretend they're his so that he can carry this charade on. Currently sitting in the corporate box with the CEO. Just goes to show that with the right perseverance and drive, any career is attainable. This one was easy. Hey Stewie, remember when you wanked at work? But probably the biggest example of me having to embrace my wrongness tonight is this one. The sit-down wee. It's intriguing, isn't it? What's going on there? Well, basically, I have to sit down to wee. Glad we cleared that up. Let's move on. So, I was lucky enough, along with my heart condition, I was also born with a condition in my penis. It's called gigantic... No, it's not. It's called Hypospadias. Okay, don't Google it now, wait till you get home. And if you Google image it, mine's the top left, right? So what Hypospadias is most penises, I assume most penises in this room, have the hole on the top, right? Where urine, sperm and stuff comes out. You know how a penis works, I'm sure. My hole is all the way... No. My hole is underneath, right? So you're probably thinking, okay, well, what's the big deal there? Well, straight off the bat, a normal penis wants to wee into a toilet at home. I assume they just point their perfect penis forward like a laser, straight into the toilet bowl. Sorry, Mark, you just happen to be sitting there. I'll go in between you. Easy. If I want to do that, I've got to lean right back and send mine up like a fucking submarine periscope. Just like, I'm in no man's land just having pot shots at where I think the toilet might be. So when I was born, the doctors saw this straight away and they knew what it was, right? So they did surgery on it to try and correct it a little bit. From the hole at the bottom, they made a slit to the top, almost like a little water slide or like the luge at the Winter Olympics, trying to guide the stuff where it's meant to go and come out of, right? But I think when they did this, they gave The Apprentice a go because it is a fucking botch job, right? Because up until a couple of years ago, I thought the way I weed at a public urinal was the way every guy weed. Until once I was at the football standing there and I heard this stream coming out from this guy and I was like, how the fuck are you doing that, mate? That is... If you're texting, I'll hold that for you. It'd be an honour. Like all his droplets had formed into one. It was like a piece of string just coming out the end, right? My droplets have been in my scrotum for the last hour rehearsing a flash mob because they all come out at once in unison, right? My partner's always, don't wee on the toilet seat, it's gross. I'm like, I'm not worried about the toilet seat, I'm worried about the neighbour's cat on the windowsill. Hence, I just sit down to wee. And when I mentioned this problem to my GP, he suggested it because also, if you didn't know this fact, if you're over 40, if you sit down to do your first wee in the morning, it's better for your prostate, all right? Take that home with you. Take this home with you as well, though, right? What they do not tell you is if you sit down to do your first wee in the morning, for the last 2 seconds of that wee, you have to fart. There's no way out of it, okay? Try it tomorrow morning if you don't believe me. The only reason it's an issue is because when my fiancée moved in with me, we were still in the honeymoon phase. We hadn't shown each other our gross side yet, right? And I reckon in every relationship, there's one member of that couple who knows they're the less attractive of the two, right? No one mentions it, you just know, right? You just know, don't you, Mark? You just know. Happy to admit, in our relationship, That's me, okay? So I'm a bit insecure. The big issue is our setup at home, bedroom there, bed there, pillow there, her head's there, paper thin wall there, toilet bowl is here. So even if my asshole whispers, she's going to hear something, right? But you can't teach your asshole to whisper because when you're sitting down, it's impossible to clench, right? So by the time I get to the last bit of the wee, it's like my farts are lined up in my arsehole like racehorses behind the barrier gate just waiting to go, right? And where were all these farts during the day when I was by myself and could have enjoyed it a little? Now that I want to be quiet, my arse decides to have an everything must go sale. And let's remember, I'm sitting down, so they're all going into a ceramic bowl which suddenly has better acoustics than the fucking Sydney Opera House. You start trying all these techniques that are absolutely ridiculous to keep the fart quiet. Like, I'm sitting there massaging my bum cheeks like pizza dough, trying to guide the fart out slowly, right, bit by bit. But all that does is turn my arse cheeks into an accordion, makes it twice as loud. So then I try the opposite of that. I try spreading my cheeks so the fart just falls out without touching the sides. It's too late to even know what happened. It can't make a noise. But I got a tight little tuchus, so it's like when you got too much air in a balloon, you try and sneak some air out the top. Nothing sneaky about it. Sounds like a squealing goose, doesn't it? And it's at this point when I realise I probably could have just done one big fart and she would have woken up. She wouldn't have even known what it was. Instead, I've chosen to do 89 mediocre ones. It's a fucking nightmare. The only solution I've come up with is this technique. I do a semi-squat over the bowl, so I'm not even touching any porcelain, right? As the wee ends, I synchronise me standing and clenching. So then the fart, it's like the Ghostbusters trap. The fart's just trapped in there, right? I pull my pants up, waddle out to the lounge room, push my bum against the lounge room wall and let the wall absorb the fart. I swear the first time I did it, the lights flickered in the lounge room. Then 3 months into our relationship, we're over in England meeting her family at this beer garden for the first time. We're walking around the corner. She lets a little fart go. I said, was that you? She goes, yeah, excuse me. I said, that's the first fart done between us. Who'd have thought it would have been you? She goes, oh, so it's okay for you to fart against the lounge room wall every morning, but I can't do one. Fuck's sake, that was a waste of time, wasn't it? But as well as embracing my wrongness, I think I'm pretty good at embracing getting older too. The only thing that's annoying me about getting older is I can't keep up with technology. But I don't think anyone can. It's moving way too fast, isn't it? Like, you know when you call any sort of company these days, it really annoys me that you don't get a person anymore. Now you get that automated robot voice menu. It's trying to send you on a wild goose chase so you'll hang up. But then if you've got nothing to do all day like me and you sit through that menu, it's like you're on a choose your own adventure trying to find a human being, right? If you finally get to a human being, they're so bored at work themselves, they just then want to keep you on the phone to play games to entertain them. Worst game they play, they pretend they can't hear you and they get you to spell out words for them. I had to call my insurance company because my card broken down, right? Said, I need some roadside assistance, please. Lovely lady on the end said, okay, what's your surname? I said, it's Kinne. She goes, how do you spell that? I said, it's Kinne. She goes, was that double M for Mary, was it? I thought, here we go, let the games begin. I said, no, it's double N for Nicholas. She goes, oh, N for Nelly. I said, no, I think you heard me, N for Nicholas. We'll be sticking with mine, all right? I don't even know what this game is, but I want to keep the upper hand. She goes, what's your number plate? I said, it's GTJ360. She goes, okay, so that's G for what? I said, you just said G in that sentence, write it down. Do you want to just meet up and play hangman? Let's sort this shit out right now. She goes, just cooperate, please, sir. So if you're ever in this situation, feel free to do what I did. Give them a word that starts with each letter. Make sure it doesn't help them out at all. I said, it's GTJ360. That's G for gnome, T for tsunami, and a J for Jose. Jot those puppies down. But proof that technology is advancing way too quickly is even that robot voice menu is pretty much obsolete now, isn't it? Now if you just look at any website, that website will for the rest of the day start sending you messages like we're mates. I ordered a Himalayan salt lamp online, it was getting delivered by Australia Post. So it was for my girlfriend's birthday. She had hinted she wanted one, among other things, right? I did the right thing, ordered it well in advance, so it was going to get here a week before her birthday. I'm watching the tracking, it keeps saying delayed, delayed, delayed. Gets to the point, it's arriving on her birthday. And I have to do that thing, you know, when you're waiting for an important parcel, you've got to take the day off and camp out the front of your letterbox to make sure you get this thing. Except I'm camped out the front of our intercom buzzer thing, because I've given the driver instructions to press the buzzer thing at the front, so I can see him on the little monitor thing, right? So I'm sitting there all excited because I see a bit of movement. No buzzer, I get a text message. It says, "Hey Troy, Australia Post here. Your parcel has been delivered." I text back, "Hey Australia Post, no it fucking hasn't." They text back, "Your message was undeliverable." I text back, "Well, there's some fucking irony, isn't there?" Then I have to get on their website, on their online chat help thing. After 3 interactions, I realise that's not a person either. It's another robot, isn't it? And you know when you're talking to one of these virtual assistants, you got to use like keywords so it knows what information to send you. Most advanced technology on earth, and you're sitting there typing like Tarzan. "Me, parcel, you, no, deliver, help." Then it sends me a bunch of photos of traffic lights to identify to prove I'm not a robot. You got some fucking nerve, Poindexter. It says, "Please use a key phrase to describe the problem with your delivery." All right, back, I tell you what, robot, I'm going to use a lot of phrases. You pick out the key one. It said, "I ordered a Himalayan salt lamp online. I waited the 7 days you told me to take to be delivered. Then I waited another 7 days. Then I got a text message saying it had been delivered. But all that had been delivered was a little card in my letterbox saying, 'Sorry, we missed you. You can collect your parcel after 4 p.m. from a news agency you've probably never fucking heard of.' Then I call you and say, 'I was actually home when that little card was left.' You call the driver. He says he was pressing the buzzer thing at the front as instructed, but he was getting no response. If I wanted it left in a safe place, I should have indicated that on the form. So can you please tell the driver next time he leaves that little card, could he just write on the back of it, 'Couldn't be fucked,' because there's your key phrase right there." It sends back to me, "Please upload proof you did not receive your delivery." How the fuck do you do that? So I upload my proof, it writes back, "Sorry, your attachment hasn't worked. All you've uploaded is a photograph of a black screen." I said, "Yeah, that's a photo of me sitting in the dark with no salt lamp, you dickheads." Then my partner gets home and I had to say to her, "I ordered you that salt lamp you wanted, but it didn't get here on time, but don't worry, I'm sorting it out. Look at this." She reads it over my shoulder. She's too sweet for her own good. She's like, "No, you can't send them that. It's been tough times for them. They're doing the best they can under difficult circumstances." I said, "All right, normally I couldn't let this shit go, but because it's your birthday, we'll ignore it, we'll go and have a fun day." And we did. We went and had a fun day, a bit of drinking during the day again. Get back home, we're in the bedroom again, fooling around. I'm bringing that birthday loving. At least I thought I was. But at the end, I could tell I was a bit more satisfied than she was. And I felt bad. It's not my birthday. So to ease the tension with a bit of humour, I got a little card and wrote on the back of it, put it under her pillow. She pulled it out and it said, "Sorry, we missed you. You can collect your orgasm after 4 p.m. She was slightly amused. She said, "No, I want it now, thanks." I said, "Hey, it's tough times. We're doing the best we can under difficult circumstances." I was pressing that buzzer thing at the front as instructed. I was getting no response. She said, "Fine, stick your orgasm up your arse then." I said, "Hey, if you wanted it left in a safe place, you should have indicated that on the form." Now, going a bit heavy with the over 40 theme tonight, so what I want to do now is give a bit of advice to anyone in the room who's under 40, okay? Not necessarily specific advice I wish I had, but certainly in this ballpark, okay? Anyone in the room who's under 40 years old, if you've got... who we got? Who's under 40? Make some noise. God, I've got some fucking energy, haven't they? Oh, they were the days. All right, anyone in the room who's under 40, if you've got ambitions at all to be in a porn movie, you've got to do it now, okay? Because as someone who's well over 40 who was watching a porn recently, I realised I couldn't be in one anymore because the dialogue simply would not match up. Now, to explain, I've got to quote the lady in this porn movie I was watching, right? So I've got to talk a bit X-rated for 5 seconds. Forgive me for 5 seconds, okay? So I was watching this movie. The lady was looking up at this guy and she goes, "Oh, I want you to come on my face and in my mouth and on my chest and on my stomach." And I'm just picturing me standing there going, "I don't know who you think you're dealing with, honey, but you're going to have to pick one, okay?" And make sure it's pretty close by if you don't mind. So See, the problem is you're picturing a fire hose, but in reality it's a tube of fucking toothpaste. I don't know what we do. And by the way, ladies in the room, if you've got a male partner and that comes up during an intimate moment, like he's like, oh, I'm about to go, where do you want me to put it? Where do you want it? That's a guy who watches way too much fucking porn, okay? Because what guy in their right mind thinks a woman believes that's a privilege she wants bestowed upon her? So ladies, if that does come up in your relationship during an intimate moment, don't feel pressured to go along with it. Just be brutally honest, okay? I'm about to go. Where do you want it? Where do you want it? Really? Really? Okay, out in the fucking garden, all right? As long as you're going out there, take the recycling bin with you. It'll be nice to see you looking excited about your chores for a change. But I think we can all agree now, if that does come up in your relationship, it's going to be my face that pops into both your heads, so we'll all enjoy that. But I'll tell you what terrifies me the most is I made the mistake of watching that porn with my partner. And at the start, the lady in it had all these seductive demands off the guy. She's like, first I want you to get on top and dominate me. Then I want you to do me from behind, then bend me over that chair, then lift me up and bang me against that wall. And my partner's like, can we just reenact exactly what they're doing? And I'm like, yeah, we can do that over 4 separate Saturdays. When you're mid-40s, changing any position, sexual or not, is a fucking achievement, okay? When I get out of my car these days, it is 6 steps before I'm walking normally. I'm like a live version of that caveman evolutionary chart. And I can see the couples in their 20s, I can see your little silhouettes looking at each other going, we change positions all the time, look at us go. Yeah, that's because when you're a guy in your 20s, you're about to shoot off early. You change positions to buy yourself some time. I've fucking done that trick, all right? You're not fooling anyone. Wait till you're mid-40s trying to convince your penis to change positions. It's like when you're streaming something live with dodgy internet. If we reset it, it might get better, but we also run the risk of never getting it back. While we're on the topic. So, I had someone analyse my sperm. Wait, a professional. I didn't just knock on my neighbour's door and go, what do you think of that? And it was Kai going, would you stop coming over here? Literally. But it actually came up in conversation with my partner, because you sort of forget about this, that your sperm is essentially a little representation of you, isn't it? And as my partner so delicately put in her lovely posh English accent, and you're all a bit fucked up inside, ain't you? Then she saw the look on my face and tried to backpedal with that cliche. She goes, oh no, but what I'm saying is, you're the sperm that won the race. You're special, you got there first. I'm like, that actually made me feel worse. Think of the sperms I must have fucking beat. I can remember swimming past some of them. One of them was trying to swim with Crocs on. It was fucking pathetic. So there's that reason alone to check my sperm. The other one is my GP was going through my medical history, right? And I didn't know this, but if you've been on antibiotics and steroids a lot in your life, it can really affect your sperm's mobility and sperm count, right? And not only have I been on antibiotics a lot, I've been taking double the dosage because, as we know, my GP's favourite prescription is maybe try 2 pills. So who knows what's going on down there? And he also pointed out that if I do want to try and conceive, doing so the natural way might be an issue as well because of my Hypospadias situation. Because as we touched on earlier, if a guy with a normal penis wants to impregnate a lady, he just points his perfect penis into the vagina, fires the sperm out like a missile. Boom, target acquired. Mine tries to do that, but ends up just leaving it at the front like an Uber Eats delivery. Oh, I'll send you a photo as proof, but that's the best I can do. Sorry it was late, I made another drop off on the way. So, lots of reasons to check if my sperm is doing anything at all, right? So when you go to a sperm clinic, some guys might have done this before, you take your sperm sample with you in a cup, right? But I get there and the lady in charge of the place was mortified. She's like, did your doctor not supply you with a proper sample cup? I said, no, this is a McDonald's Coke from the drive-thru. This isn't it. And it's a medium, don't insult me. She goes, you're meant to bring your sample with you. I said, my doctor did not give me a cup. And I said, I was speaking to the lady on the phone and she said, you only bring it if you can get it there within 30 minutes because that's when the sperm stops swimming, right? I live in the western suburbs, but for some reason got booked into this drop-off clinic in the city. So unless you want me to put the car in cruise control and crank one out over the Westgate Bridge, it ain't fucking happening, okay? I'll be swerving all over the road, a cop will pull me over and say, blow into this. It's not going to be pretty for anyone. She said, well, in that case, you're meant to provide your sample here by booking a room. I said, I was not told that. And this is when she got a little smirk on her face, right? She goes, well, both those rooms are booked, but you're 7 minutes early. That room's available for the next 7 minutes if you think you can get it done. I didn't like that smirk at all. And I got way too cocky, way too quickly. I said, 7 minutes? How many cups do you want? So she shows me into this little room, right? And I'm so determined to do a good job and prove her wrong now. I can tell she's doubting me. She gives me the little cup with a little label, a little pen. She goes, right, now I'd normally go through the spiel of the process, but you look like you know what you're doing. I didn't know if that was an insult or a compliment. I just had to take it, right? There was no time. She leaves and I'm so determined to do a good job. I start filling out the label straight away, but I make that mistake. It says name. I put Troy Kinne. Surname. Fuck, can I get another cup, please? It's like, what, have you finished already? I said, no, I stuffed up my name on the label. She goes, do that at the end, you've got no time. She points to a little clock she's put in there that's counting down. It's down to 5 minutes already. It's like I'm in an escape room where you have to wank your way out. And in this room is just one black leather chair. I thought there'd be like videos of erotica going and magazines and pictures and stuff. There's nothing. I think they assume these days you can use your phone to watch a bit of X-rated stuff to get you in the mood, right? Which makes sense. But think about it, they haven't thought it through. Because the hand you'd hold your phone in is holding the sample cup ready to catch. And your other hand's a bit occupied as well. So there is nothing to help you get going, right? They expect you to use your mind. And the only thing left in my wank bank these days is the couple who met at Coles, one's a lion with a fucking eggplant dick. It's fucking ridiculous, right? I am scraping the barrel! But look, I'm down to like 3 minutes 20, so I get in this black leather chair and I go to push back. I assume it's one of those gold class cinema chairs that reclines, right? It doesn't budge. If anything, it's declined a little bit. When have you ever thought to yourself, I'm in the mood for a wank, I just need to find an ergonomical chair? And I don't know if this is an example of me being made wrong or if it's an age thing, but I can't orgasm unless I'm lying down. I know that's probably weird for a lot of guys in here because you like the shower for your alone fun time. I'm like one of those fainting goats that faints when it gets scared. Except I faint when I get horny. I'll see a naked woman on television and go, oh, fucking hell, here we go. Right? So I'm like trying to simulate lying down on this chair that won't budge. I'm doing that yoga bridge move. My glutes are on fire, right? And I'm still trying to get in the mood. I'm like, how is this going to happen? I'm down to 2 minutes 20 now. And I like start getting somewhere, right? I'm getting a bit excited. I'm like, oh, actually, I'm going to do this. This is like, we're getting there. So I get the cup ready to catch it, right? And I'm like, I haven't unscrewed the lid off the cup yet. And as you know, I cannot afford a speed hump, right? I can't restart. So my brain is searching like crazy, trying to find a solution where I can keep this momentum, right? And I start thinking about movies where I've seen those cool guys in movies, you know, do that thing where they get a beer bottle and twist the bottle top off with their thumb, right? Must be special effects, not easy to do, right? And you know that thing you learn in kindergarten, that activity where you pat your head while you rub your tummy? And if you go too long, then you switch, you start patting your tummy while you're rubbing your head. I look down, I'm trying to unscrew my knob while I'm jerking off the sample cup. Fuck's sake. Like, how is this going to happen, right? I'm down to 1 minute 40. I'm like, this, I just may as well throw in the towel. But I start getting somewhere, and I don't know how I got there, right? It was nothing to do with, like, sexual arousal. All I can put it to is when I was at the horse races once with a mate of mine, there's lots of ladies around dressed up, right? And he nudged me and goes, I'm going to have a serious wank when I get home. From that day, I always thought, what does a serious wank look like? Well, now I can tell you, it looks like a guy with a cup with 1 minute 40 on the clock. That's what it fucking looks like. Just that roller coaster face for a good minute 40. 0% sexual arousal, 100% determination. That's all it was. This is the only time my hypospadia penis actually worked out well for me. So I'm sure most guys with their fancy perfect penises really had to like line up and catch the sperm, right? Like an arcade game. I was just like I was filling up a Coke at the cinema. Just shoved it under the nozzle. Got the results back. Turns out my sperm is good. But they did make a note to do with conception. If I do want to try and conceive the natural way, I have to factor in the hypospadia and I have to consider my sperm to be half of what it actually is. But you can probably imagine my GP had a great solution. Maybe just wank in the cup twice. Good night, Traralgon. Thanks for having me.
Over 40, yo! Over 40, yo! You need to accept I'm over 40, yo! Over 40, yo! I'm over 40, yo! Or did you not see the chinos and fresh polo? New lady in my life and she's in her sexual prime. Last night she stayed at mine for the very first time. In the morning I assumed expectations were exceeded. When she asked before work,
was there something more you needed?
grabs a scrunchie from around the bed knob. Baby, please get on your knees and give me a
Hand putting on my shoes, because if I bend over quickly this early in the morning, I will fuck my back up. I already tweaked it yesterday unpacking the dishwasher, so thanks.
Over 40, yo! Over 40, yo! You need to accept I'm over 40, yo! Over 40, yo! I'm over 40, yo! Or did you not see the chinos and fresh polo? Cool guy at my work always says he's struggling. Recapping the weekend, places he went clubbing in. Alcohol and drug talk gets all the crew excited. His mate's band's in town and guess what? We're all invited. He keen to get loose, gonna be off the fucking chain. We'll ask your rockstar mate, can he get us some
Confirmation if the concert venue has seating, because if not, I can't stand that long without a snack. I will get grumpy as fuck.
Over 40, yo! Over 40, yo! Yeah, I refer to the nightclub as a disco. Over 40, yo! Over 40, yo! If it ain't done by 9 p.m, then I can't go. On our third Tinder date, do you mind if we park? But everyone can see us, it'll be hours till it's dark. Can tell that she's intrigued when I say promise I'll be quick. Her jaw completely drops when I take out my massive
Discount voucher for Bunnings Warehouse. Oh yeah, it's gonna be a big day. Grab your jacket.
Over 40, yo! Over 40, yo! Finding grey hairs where hair shouldn't grow. Over 40, yo! I'm over 40, yo! Sneaking out at night to eat a fucking yo-yo. Pharmacy cologne. Over 40, yo! Larger text on my phone. Over 40, yo! Daily hydrolyte. Over 40, yo! Stretching on a flight. Over 40, yo! Getting a coffee just to use up all your change. Losing it in Coles cause the shelves are rearranged. All my vitamins organised for the week. No control at all when I need to take a leak. Staring down a dangerous driver who is in a rush. Remembering to lift your balls just before you flush. Over 40, yo, this fucking music's too loud. Over 40, yo, let's leave now to beat the crowd. Over 40 and proud.